Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome back to Practising Programming in C, in which we're going to be, first of all, checking through our newly strictified include rule string parsing stuff, and then going on to variable resolution. But not before we do the vital task of picking our music. Oh, actually, let's put on Eastern Alive. It's a nice new album from Sleaford Mods there. Released only... Oh, I haven't got the full date. That's unfortunate. I think it was just released last Friday. 5 days ago, 22nd of Feb, 2019. Yeah, so it's going to be quite a varied soundtrack here. Can't listen to Cinera Lab and Sleaford Mods. Have got anything else beginning with S that could be worth listening to? I mean, there's Slint. We do love Slint. Steve Kirk, his Thimbleweed Park soundtrack. That could be kind of cool to finish with. St. Vincent. Sean Barrett. Sandy Denny. Yeah, Seal downloaded his second eponymous album just the other day for Kiss from a Rose. I haven't really listened to that album very much. I think I've listened to the album once. Listened to Kiss from the Rose quite often. Proper old nostalgia trip for us. Because when I was a kid at school, in like the 90s, that song was played pretty often. Ah, we do have Schmidt's 140. Let's go for that. That's pretty invigorating. So that gives 2 hours 14. $19.94 was that was released. Yeah. Okay. So, I was just having a quick look at this while having my sandwich, and I reckon that I want to actually be preserving this parent type spec. I think what's going to happen here is we're actually going to be setting that actual thing to something that actually we can check it, can't we? We can check if that actually does happen. So essentially what I'm saying is what I think is happening here, this is going to give me an understanding of how C works actually a bit better. So this guy's taking a parent type spec, it's a pointer to a config type spec, right? And then here we're setting that parent type spec is this guy here to something else that we get out of the type specs. Now what I'm wondering is, does that persist when we leave the scope? So just a very easy way of doing that. We can just do this, can't we? It takes a pointer to a config type spec. It doesn't like that, does it not? What is parent type spec? Is that not a type spec? Oh, it's coming in as that. So let's just do and also let's just pop that there. So before think I need to go to the previous. Actually, no, because we only had the one include. We have got multiple results. So it comes in with the title list end. Kind of interesting that. Okay, here we go. So this is going to be the first thing. So loading token and parsing included file. This is where we've just spotted this. As you can see, actually, it was just previously it's passed in the support page pal, which was this dude up here. So that's all working okay. Loading token hasn't passed this, so we're talking about this here. So before we do that, we had the root spec, essentially. So title list end. So yeah, so that's unknown, identified and return. Yeah, so that hasn't changed at all. Then we should be going into the medium. Yeah, and that hasn't changed either. But the next thing, project, is interesting. So we pass in the project and then the default medium. Right, so as a part of this parse rule string, as a part of that, we will have changed the parent type spec that we were passed. We will have changed that to become a project, so that we can actually type check default medium, right? And it seems that after that, we've ended up with the correct thing again. So let's just go down to person just to double check. So we've got person support URL. So this was before, right? Before we're at the root spec again. Or, well, it kind of seems to be the root spec. It might actually be it. So we go into person. We pull in the type spec for the person. We go into support, pull in the type spec for the support. We pass the URL, and then we try and pull in the type spec for the URL, but we find that URL is not a type. And after we find this, and if we had been modifying this within this function, if we've been modifying the parent type spec within the parse rules string function, then we should see that this thing here, after thing here, should be saying it should be using the support type spec. So that answers our question, that we're not modifying that within the function, which is great. So I don't need to bother with that. But what we want to do is just quickly prove what we did earlier before we continue. So all it was just parse rule string. Yeah. So you come into this rule string, and a rule string is like this kind of a thing. We're going to skip white space. I think it's reasonable to allow people to put white space erroneously. Got no field. Is that field being used? Yeah, it's been used. So we're going through the rule string. Set that. Do nothing there. And then we're checking if that. So if we're on a valid identifier, start a string. Again, we're doing that same. Not initializing that. So there you get that. If it's in spec. If the ID is not null. guess we could also omit that, couldn't we? I think this would be correct. Oh, and also this could actually print all that stuff because we actually have it. So this thing is already incremented past that identifier. So yeah, if it's an unknown identifier, I think we're within our rights to just return straight up and just have done with it. Similar, just like this guy. I'm not sure if we can actually get to this though. Well, yeah, surely we could. Yeah, we could get here, couldn't we? I think the thing is that it's not actually anything in particular, is it? This unknown identifier is just. Oh. That probably should suffice. So that essentially says if you stick that has it iterated past it, I wonder? So if it's a valid identifier character, else if rule string content base is equal to that, else. So we've established that we're talking about the rule string content.base at I. It is a character. So why are we not seeing anything there? Because it will be this character, won't it? Yeah, well, and also, where's the new line? Right, I just built that, didn't I? Invalid character include rule. Am I not hitting it? Okay. Invalid character include rule. It's just not printing that out. Isn't that how you do that? Or is it this way around? Right. It's dot, percent, dot, star. It's got to be an int. Percent dot star. Yeah, it's what I thought it was. And I thought I was doing it like that. Right. So what's it complaining about? It expects... Oh! Yeah. Just doesn't seem to be able to print that thing out. Is that just because it's that character? It's pretty bizarre, but let's just step into this. I mean, it is possible that I'm just sitting at the wrong place, isn't it? So we haven't got to there. So should we not have incremented past the white space? Sorry, yeah, well we are at. Ah, did I just not do that right? Or something? What is it saying I is? It's I0, ah. So parsing rule. Yeah, so not there. Where is it? Parse rule string. run it again. So I'm looking, it's basically the 4th rule string, so we're going to continue. So we've tried to parse pair, and got him. Tried to parse medium. Tried to parse product and default medium. Right, so now we're on this next one here. So P is there. Oh, did I just do the skip white space string incorrectly? Yeah, I did. Jesus. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. Put a default medium, so we're now at there. So let's just step over this line. What is I? I's at 1. Yeah, perfect. Then we get there, and we just step. Maybe I can't nuclear, right? Perfect. Blimey. Good job we tested that, wasn't it? Could have ended up with that particular function just scrambling the whole thing, couldn't we? So now let's see. That's perfect. And where we were printing out all that nonsense, we can actually just go back to doing this. Oops. Can we not? Too many arguments. Oh yeah. Perfect. So that's not working. And we've tested that this is correctly not permitting us to push an erroneous rule on. Icon name setting in file Cinera is not permitted. So icon, is that because we're not permitting person? Yeah, we're being too specific. Headphones didn't go in there. Product and default medium, we are allowing that. Yeah, so that's the only thing. Right. Is it worth keeping around that other failure case? Probably not actually, because we already know that we're doing it correctly. So we've still got so name homepage. Is that from this run? Simply from this one. Oh, that was it. Right. Yeah, because in changing how this works, I actually forgot that I need to oh, actually, did I forget that? Yeah, I think I did do. So basically, the idea is if you see this, you need to push on all of its child scopes. how best to determine that this is the full scope. I mean, I did do it before, but doing it slightly different now. I mean, what I'm sort of thinking is, you push a rule, right, and then you just sort of say, if this is the only thing that we have pushed, yeah, I think that's what you do. You just say if you have pushed one on, or rather if you haven't pushed anybody else on yet, then you just push everything out. Then you just push. Actually, no, that's not at all. It's just like you push the rule, right? And then if you've reached the end of the string, you just push on the field of whatever you last out. That's what you do. So if you've reached the end of the thingamajig, it might be length to take away one, but we'll get there. Actually, no, it might not be, because the check was if I is less than the content length. So yeah, that might be the right check. So if we've arrived at the end of the length, then what you do is you push the remaining scopes on, essentially. I think we should already have. Well, no, you need to do this. You need to get the type spec for the field ID. Yeah, that's what you need to do. And it's basically while that actually. While you can keep doing this. You set the field ID to be the parent type spec ID. For the first thing. So that should pull in everything that we need. I think we wanted to allow the support, didn't we? So these warnings here, we shouldn't expect these. Although, unfortunately, the person is going to pull in the support automatically. So that's unfortunate, but it's just one of those things. So all these warnings should go, essentially. So I presume it was here. All I'm trying to do here is peel off. Oh, I could be pushing. Well, no, I'm not. I'm pushing the person on. So while that is equal to 2, get type spec. What does type get? That should return a 0, shouldn't it? Yeah. Step through, see what happens. Pretty sure we're at least looping within this. This is where we're looping it. Yeah, and it is the first person that we're actually encountering. I mean, I suppose an unfortunate thing about this, and I suppose it's just something that we'll have to document, is in doing this, we're going to be doing this procedure here, pushing on all the fields that are within this dude. Now, if somebody were to put a more specific rule down here, what do we do about the ones that we'd already added? I don't know. What is the parent type spec field count exactly? So that's 3. So we should be looping over that. So pushing on 3 rules. So we've got an ident person. Is that right? That's incorrect. Oh, sorry. It was like... for each field... Sorry, this is incorrect. It's for each field if we can get... if we can get a type spec for their child. That's what the actual thing is. So So if we come to the end of the string, and we can get a parent type spec of the current field. Yeah, you just want to push the rule, and then you want to do this again. You want to be saying, you want to be getting a sub typeset, essentially. So yeah, essentially we are doing exactly what we were doing before. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And also, because we've got an I over there, don't want to be doing that. That's more like what we're after. And as I was mentioning earlier, it's a little bit cheesy because we're only actually permitting too deep. You know, we're not permitting arbitrarily deep things. The reason being that we only have things we can only validly handle this case, right? So yeah, we've got an invalid field. So this is all the tokens up here. Well, sorry, these are all the type specs actually. Then tokens are passed included files. Yeah, so you can see that all those guys got pushed on, no problem. And now, yeah, we get the persons and their support and everything's set. Find that unit set in parallel includes not permitted. And there's all our mediums. So yeah, I think that's put a line under that. Maybe I'll just change type spec to be this type spec. And also, why do that? Why do it in that way? Set that if we've got the type spec. Push the rule on. Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter which type spec we actually use, does it? Here, I mean, within this for loop, we do need to make sure that we do use a different type spec from the parent type spec, so that we can actually operate on the parent type spec when we get out here. Yeah, so I think that's fine. We get the type specs from the parent type spec field J ID, which just got there. Yeah, cool. I think this might also catch the same error as. Actually, no, it won't, because it's not an error, is it? Yeah. If it can't find a type spec, it just won't bother to try and push it on, push its fields on. So yeah, I think that's fine. So the only thing we're still printing out the open brace and all that kind of stuff. Interleaved with that other stuff. Yeah, we've got the type spec. We don't need to do that. Print scope tree is always useful to be printing. Let's just try and stop some of these from happening. So that's going to be that print pair. So that's doesn't need to be happening. And this is probably in scope tokens, is it? Yeah. Invalid field. So that's apparently gonna be printing something useful for us. Okay. And then we should. So that was handling that. What's that exactly? Oh yeah, the loading token on thingamajig. Don't need that. Print out. Print pair. So that's this thing. Okay. What else was it? It was the config error. Invalid field. Ah, I see. Yeah, I mean, I need to go over and do the error messages better. So I think I might just leave this commented out for now, and just leave those to something I can just do later. And then in the actual include the tokenize thingamajigs. We were printing something somewhere. So loading tokens and parsing include file. Printing out in blue. Is it this? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. So we've got our errors. Should already set icon. Yep. Configure invalid field. Something. Yep. Setting in field not permitted. Cool. Field already set tell this in. Yeah, that's perfect. Right, yeah, so we're on to resolving. And also, I think resolve variables is going to be the thing that actually stuffs everybody into an actual config. Interestingly enough. So I am going to want the notion of hot reloading. So that means that I'll want to be able to have pointers to do two different configs. If we get a config back. So maybe I want to do that sort of a thing. Config itself. And essentially what we're doing is going to have a config which contains a number of projects, and each project is going to contain this, and each project themselves also can contain a number of projects. We're also going to have a medium. We're going to have a support array. So we're going to have like a thing that can contain a number of supports, and a thing that can contain a number of mediums. And we're going to essentially push all of these dudes on. And a support can only contain one thing. So lastly, let's just take a couple of minutes break before we actually do this. Yeah, since we've got the other previous thing fixed, done. A couple of minutes break, and then we'll get on with doing all these types and resolving and putting them into the structs. Right, here we go. So, type destruct config. Let's just get these all prepared. So, support's going to contain string icon. Medium is going to contain a string icon. They also need IDs, don't they? Right. So basically, support, you're going to have the ID Patreon, icon this, URL this. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So supports mediums. Templates to yeah, player template's going to be one of those, isn't it? I'm currently doing these as modes, aren't I? In the main config. Yeah, right. Log level. And this can also just be that small. I don't really care about a big so big. I think the update interval could be a small number as well. So we're going to have one owner. We could conceivably have multiple, so we haven't got them here, but we could conceivably have multiple annotators. We could conceivably have multiple I mean, 64-bit is, I think that's too much actually. So yeah, those are the things, aren't they? You can have an owner, co-host, guest, annotators. And then you can also have a number of child projects. it's not going to like that because of this. Still doesn't like it. Online type project. It doesn't like that. Oh. Okay. Builds are 64-bit. Strings themselves are 64-bit and some. Aren't they? Are they 64-bit? Yeah. That's just a 64-bit pointer. So we could just put all the counts at the bottom, couldn't we? Did we do the person? We didn't do the person. Yeah, these aren't going to be strings actually. These are probably going to be pointers to people. Why didn't I see the people in there exactly? They're just higher up or something? Ah, just missed him. Yeah, person. Oh, actually these are supports. So, scratch that. Yeah, that's what you want. So did I, when I said medium, where did that end up? Maybe I just missed it out. So this is going to be a pointer to a medium. Is it not? Actually, no, I think this is going to be an actual locally declared medium, because these mediums could be different between projects. The name could be different per project. Certainly. So because the mediums contain 3 strings, I probably need to put that higher up. I mean, I could conceivably just pack the struct actually, couldn't I? Not that I need to for the purposes of writing it out to a database, but just for the I don't know, maybe I won't bother. Because I think the idea is that they can be optimized if you allow them to be padded. Sixty-four bit, 64 bit, 124, 28, 64, and then just all these guys. So yeah, I think that's what we're after. Where's the update interval? The update interval is right down at the bottom. Probably reasonable. So this can have a number of people, is what this can have. Where is the... Sorry, these shouldn't be strings. Like I was saying, they should be people, shouldn't they? In which case, you just stuff those up higher. Probably right at the top. This seems to be the biggest thing, I think. I mean, this could actually be a pointer. These could be pointers to things, couldn't they? Because we're going to have a number of people. The people are always going to be the same, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, if you look at the owner, so that's going to be talking about Miyatatsu. So that needs to be looking up into the peoples. Right, so when you see this owner, it should be looking up, so it should really just be a pointer. It doesn't need to be pulling in a whole owner for itself. It should really be like that. And also, I think we should, for the default medium, we do need to actually Yeah, I mean, we need a record of the different of all the different mediums. I think the unfortunate thing, actually, we need to know. Hmm. This is a bit weird, actually. I need to be able to say this, which I haven't handled yet. In the contents of the project risky, we need to be able to say this. Also, actually, these are capitalized. This is what those are like. Right, we need to be able to say that. Whereas in the Hero project, the blackboard medium is called a blackboard. Whereas in the the run medium in Hammered Hero needs to be in game. Right. So I think all that means is that each project needs to just contain all of the media. Right. So it's got a default medium, but then it just has a pointer. It just has a load of them, a load of mediums. And if we're going to have a default medium, I think this should be pointing into this mediums thing. So it's potentially going to be a little bit hairy, because this is indicating there's multiple mediums. This default medium is going to be indicating that it's just pointing to one of those. Yeah, I think that's what we need. Well, actually, let's go to print. So rather than a config itself containing multiple mediums, it's just the project has to contain the mediums itself. So this is going to be the equivalent of our credentials array. I mean, actually, we probably will want somewhere in here, when we're actually integrating this whole thing, we probably will need to have a handle to these directories. Either a handle to these directories, or the handles the event handles themselves will have to contain pointers to these projects, so they can actually find out, we can actually locate the right people, get the right project into the mix. We've covered everything. I think maybe as a first step, now that we've just got these structs up, rather than resolving these guys, let's just copy them straight in. Because that's what I think we need to do. Right, rather than using the actual file, I think because we need to resolve things like this, we need to make this player template setting, wherever that is, somewhere up there. We need to make the player template actually point to an actual file, right, which has been resolved here. Because we do have to do that. We can't just point to there directly. We have to produce an actual new string. And I'm sort of thinking, well, because we have to do that for this, I think we need to really, the most expedient way to do it is to just produce new strings for everything, right? And then free the buffer that's containing this file, and then we're off. Because the alternative would be to have to somehow store all of the allocations for, you'd have to distinguish between the things that you'd have had to newly produce and the things that were obtained from this other buffer. I'm not sure I fancy that. And also, these are just directly strings themselves. I mean, I could just dereference those strings to become this. And yeah. But still, though, if you do dereference, you end up with it pointing at. You still end up with it pointing at the thing inside here, right? So when you come to like try and free these, you'll be trying to free something that's mid buffer here, and it just won't work. Alright, it's a config pair. Okay. What we're doing here actually, we're doing a pointer to the config. Okay, fine. Might as well just do this actually, honestly. Yeah, we don't need to return anything, I don't think. Yeah, it's just projects and persons is all we care about. We probably do need, well actually no, this guy. Oh yeah, products and persons. Hmm. Just before I forget, in the init type specs, let me just make sure the we can actually push mediums onto the projects, because we need to be able to do that now. Because I think that should have been erroring, shouldn't it? Or did I never run that after having written that thing? Yeah, I don't think I did I? There we go. So the array project now contains all these mediums, which is fine. Blackboard is set to blackboard, which is a bit not correct actually. Oh, sorry, that's handmade array, wrong person. RISC-V reader should find its whiteboard. Yeah, perfect. So see, if you do the medium blackboard, you actually end up with it saying whiteboard. If you do the run, you should find it in application. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I'm after. So it does make it a little bit more sort of memory intensive. You know, you need to store more stuff. But I think that's probably okay. Also, I believe Project Hero doesn't necessarily need to set these mediums themselves. Ah, hang on. Yeah, as well as default medium, we want to be able to set medium full stop in the... Yeah, so we're allowed to set medium. I think we need to be allowed to set... Well, I'll tell you what, since we're allowed to set medium, I think that automatically means... Basically what I'm driving at is, I think you're automatically allowed to say I think you're automatically allowed to do that. So let's just test that theory. Yeah, I think that should be sufficient. Aha. So it doesn't like... So it's expected token that. Ah. That shouldn't die, should it? So that's dying on scope tokens. So heat use after 3. Field is set locally. So this is a syntax error within an include thing. I don't think we encounter this error if we do it in the main file, do we? Aha, we do. How about if we set one of these, if we miss it out on one of these guys? Yeah, okay, perfect. So, so we're getting this. So this is the guy that we're hitting, apparently. Isn't it? Oh, hold on a second. Right. Right, so yeah, that is fine in this case. So that's correctly parsed now. Okay, great. So we're hitting this inside an included file to try to tokenize the file. So we tokenize the file. We don't care about the syntax during the tokenization process. So we're going to be getting through there. So we're going to get through the tokenization. If we've got the tokens, then we're going to try and scope tokens. If I just don't do that, do I still crash? I don't crash there. But we'll get something else happening. So yeah, this is going to try and free the actual scope tree. Basically, freeing the scope tree happens when you get a syntax error. So we've hit a syntax error inside here. Sorry, we've hit a syntax error inside this call to scope tokens. We've come all the way. We're coming all the way through, and after having come all the way through, we would then want to set that. But the trouble is that field is pointing into the parent. So really, what you want to be saying is, if you've got no parent at this point, you know that you've got a syntax error. Oh, you've probably got no rules either, actually. Oh no, the rules are set up here, aren't they? Yeah, so we have got the rules, but we just don't have a parent. So you want to be saying, is that returning? No. You want to return nothing from here, and you want to say it's a syntax error. Essentially, so that's what you want to be doing. I think we found that this guy had already freed the scope tree, hadn't we? So you don't have to do that. Yeah. I think that should handle all our cases. It's kind of unfortunate that it's just another of those syntax errors that doesn't report anything handy. But let's see if Risky now gets the blackboard set to whiteboard. Yeah, it does. So you automatically get that ability. Even though in the project you've only allowed the default medium. Right. I guess I'm fine with that. Because, I mean, you can kind of understand this as saying, if you allow the medium thing to be set, you're saying that you're allowing it to be set anywhere, essentially. So yeah, and this thing here is also going to be absorbing this blackboard from up here, so it's going to get that icon. It's just going to set the why is whiteboard set to whiteboard up there? I mean, I suppose I was making it for the Risky instance, I suppose. So really, I guess what I should really be testing is for the project hero. Did I keep that? Good. And also made a medium run in there as well. Right, so I'm just thinking in terms of handmade network here, so I could set these guys in my included one and be permitted to do that. So yeah, medium blackboard is getting set there, which is great. So somebody's getting blackboard set there somehow. That's interesting, isn't it? Okay. So it's now getting whiteboard. If I do this, I'll get it coming out as blackboard, yeah. Okay, that's fine. And if we don't have a permanent syntax error, yeah. Syntax error returns 0. Free tokens. I think the idea of freeing tokens is something that isn't our responsibility, isn't it? Because we get past the token set. Yeah. Yeah, free token set happens down here. So I think actually where that free tokens was, I think I actually want to get rid of that. Then it's no longer a function anyway. Okay. Just one couple of seconds. Push project. So we were crashing in push project, weren't we? Interestingly enough. And it doesn't do anything. Oh, it was car-locking result actually, wasn't it? So yeah, I suppose that's what was happening. Was it just leaking that or something? Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that could have been. Yeah, and it's simply just that, isn't it? I mean, technically, actually, when you free the config, you will need to be looping over all of the projects in it, won't you? So yeah, it'd be just, well, not looping over them, you just do free project, don't you? And then they free whatever they need to free. Is that right? Not 100% sure about this. Free person. And then finally just free the C itself. I suppose also I want to be calling these things like config project, config person. A string is just a string. Do I care about that? Nah, it's because it's all within Cinera. It's not. Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing fancy going on. I suppose we'll have a better idea as to how we want to do this once we're actually pushing dudes on, won't we? Which is only happening up here. So, push project, we've got a scope tree. So the scope tree ID is going to be our project's name. Okay. So this is going to be making a string from the incoming ID Do I even have make string in here? Well, this is make string 0. Yeah. Well, that's just that call. And I will use make string just for now. I think I'll probably consider a better like kind of allocation scheme. Essentially, just allocate a whole bunch of memory, and then you just kind of claim bits and push things onto it. But I think for now I'm just going to use malloc for speed. Not that speed is super important, but actually it's make string, isn't it? Oh, it's here. Okay. So yeah, interestingly, I guess probably what we have to do actually when we push one of these on, we probably need to clear it, don't we? Right. Basically mem set it all to 0. It's in string.h, is it? I think that's correct. The thing about realloc is that it doesn't actually, that doesn't null out the space that you've just done. Oh shit, actually that's the point. Well, hang on. Claiming out just the new project. Ah, hang on, that might not be right. Yeah, actually, let's make this guy actually clear it. think that's what we'd want. Could be completely busted, but I think I'm right. We'll see. Don't think there's a... You can't just make real arc clear, can you? The other mode will not be initialized. If pointer is null, then go right. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be possible to get a real arc to clear it for us. So I think actually it's just free string, isn't it? Free string itself will know. And also, do we not have free string here? Blimey. I mean, when you do this, it'll know. Like freeing will just fail if it hasn't been allocated, won't it? What is a string list? We're not using string lists anywhere. Oh, maybe we are. Oh, okay. This might be what we want, actually. Maybe not. I was thinking this is an allocation thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. But this is going to do this. It's going to clear the project count for this number of and also we only want to clear the block size times the size of the project. That's how much we want to actually clear. Yeah, I think that's okay. So the only thing we're currently doing in push project is we're fitting it, we're setting that, and we will need to, at the very end, you need to increment the point, the project count. Oh, the strings. And in order to free a project, you need to say this. Units error. So, clear. It doesn't like a right size one, so in clear. I guess I could ignore this just for now. The reason I was clearing was so that I could have a way to actually check things. You know, check if stuff is set, essentially. So now it doesn't like push project 2301 22, sorry. Doesn't like a right of size 16. One interesting thing here is that we actually need to be able to push a project onto a config, onto the main config here. And we also need to be able to push a project onto a project itself. Which could be the problem we're having actually. Project count. I guess actually maybe. Well, yeah. So this is callocked, right? So it's not like the project count can be set to anything, is it? Where's that? I think it's down below, isn't it? Okay, so there's a 0. Blimey. Okay, so there's no project count. So a fitting project. And we will be doing this, won't we? So we're going to set the realloc project. Wow, disconnected. Apparently the internet's still open. Is that just Twitch twitching. No drop frames. Still loading fine. So, realloc the C project. C project count times block size. Size of project. I feel like that's happening correctly. Let's just try and get any old string. Oh. That could be the problem, actually. Could it? I think I just jumped to the process of returning 0. Interesting. So is this make string busted or something? So it's supposed to return a string. So it's an L. So yeah, we get to here. So it's just in make string, it just doesn't like. Oh, there might not be an ID. Oh. So the thingamajigs the scope tree config pair, the ID config pair string value. So if the S tree is I ID key, So we're getting risky hero. And then in a print string we're getting a buffer overflow, is it? Jesus. So there's our risky on our hero. And now it doesn't like the print project 2339. Now what? Free projects probably, isn't it? It still doesn't like it in print project. So there's a read of size 8, so the PID length. Is that just a product of us not clearing now? Perhaps. It's clear doesn't like it. Let's just see. Let's just include thingamajig quickly. Was that, wasn't it? So how to use memset? It takes a voids S, a C, and a size T. Right, so we want to passing this. Link it with that. Right, we want to be doing this, don't we? Did you see how much slower that took to? Yeah, that was noticeably slower, wasn't it? Yeah, that's noticeably slower. Like when I do mine, you just see that little flash of red go flying past. But in the memset version, I don't know if this is getting caught on camera, but the flash, it's gonna be these little guys here. You can actually, well, I can see, but it's like it sits on the screen for a bit longer. So yeah, let's go to print project and let's see what this thinks about the PID length. So it even failed to read the length. Well, we've established that the make string is actually working, haven't we? Right, because it's correctly returning one of these dudes to us. So let's just try. Right, that's just a straight up string. Right, and that is also a string. At this point, project count should be 0. So we should conceivably be actually writing that thing, but it was failing, wasn't it? On the push. Yeah, so it's a write of 16. On the push project, this line, yeah, so it's just, it doesn't like trying to write to that ID. So, config project okie dokie. String ID. Ah, is this something to do with this at all? I wonder. I've done that incorrectly. No, it's exactly the same. Let's step through it. That's been successful so far. Also, let's get a bit of music on because we're running out. 2 hours 20. Let's keep going. Let's at least get something, some of this doing something resembling reasonable. So what is in this? Probably 220. Oh, it's gonna, yeah, so there's gonna be 2 projects, there's gonna be a bunch of mediums, and there's gonna be a bunch of people and a bunch of supports. So we've gone over the trees. So this scope tree should have an ID, should it not? Should be 4. Oh, okay, so this is for risky. I feel like fit product is correct. Oh, I should be passing a pointer to this guy, shouldn't I? Should I? Maybe. No, I shouldn't. This is already a pointer. That's a pointer. This is a pointer. And you want to be... fitting this many things. Yeah, I think that's right, that fit project. It just doesn't like because trying to write into that thing. I mean, if I just do it manually, right? What's happening there? Why is that indenting me to there exactly? Oh, probably, yeah, because it will do. So if we just say so we want to sprintf into here. Well, sprintf won't allocate, will it? Let's just say that base is equal to can you make sprintf not do the null terminator? I wonder. I think you can, can't you? You can just say do the number of characters. SM printf the size, yeah. So it just doesn't like. What I'm doing. Yes, this is right. So we're supposedly printing risky. Do we get there? We don't get to this second print because we're getting hate buffer overflow, right of size 8. Well, what am I missing? So a string. Right. Well. I suppose text actually is what should call that. Right. So I'm going to just redo this whole thing here. Yeah, what's going on there is that smprintf is just null terminating it when I don't want it to. Jesus Christ. I mean, make string. So if I allocate that like this, and then just do string, well, right, so make string actually does all that stuff. So there we go, that guy does get risky. So we've got a string that we've just initialized like that. So what is his problem? He's saying C project, right, 0 with 1, ID, which is a string, he just doesn't like me doing that. Right, your size 16. Oh. Should be doing project count times block size. That's a bit of a mistake. Yeah, that's probably it actually. Because we've got no projects. Timing that by the mult block size, you're going to end up with nothing. Alright, so we've now got a nice assortment of sweetie riskies over there. Jesus, that was a bit of a troll, wasn't it? An unfortunate typographical error. Yeah, so Jesus Christ. There we go, finally. That one little mistake. And this is clear going to work now. Yeah, it is. Wow. Good hour of well, I don't know what you call that really. An hour of hunting around could have been saved by putting that plus sign there rather than this. Alright. So I wonder if we need to actually even bother checking that. Yeah, we don't need to bother. So, Jesus, after all that, let's do some stuff. We haven't passed the people in yet, have we? So we do actually need to pass the people in first, so that we can actually link the players, the project back to the people. Yeah, that's a bit of a thing we've got to deal with. Where's ID? Did I just... Was it up? Yeah, it was just at the top. I just didn't pull it. Oops. Oh no. Try again. Delete. Forward there. Change forward there. Oh no, I've lost that now. Bollocks. Okay. Okay. So then an S contains an ID. Ah, right. I see. Yeah, of course. We actually need to get the right thing on, don't we? Let's just go through the strings first. that's right, isn't it? Oh. Is that right? HMLD? No, it's not. That should be this. So we've got the scope tree. So the HMLD. So we're seeing HMLD, so I presume. Yeah, we're seeing that lot. Pairs its eye and values, and the value of this. I don't feel particularly tired, but I must be getting tired because I'm just doing all sorts of craziness. Okay. So, we are going through these dudes. Pushing them on. Right. I mean, I guess actually we could just go through the type spec, can't we? Right. Project. Actually, we are going to have to handle this. So basically what we're saying is, we're leaving it, and also this bear guy as well. We need to somewhat get that in. Although that's a title list ender, we still haven't really got a good story for that. So, what we're talking about doing is 1, 2. It's like the second. Change to second space. Yeah, okay. Let's just macroize that. Let's just do it like that. Oh shit. Oh, phew, right. Perfect. Right. So what are we doing here? It's everything is the same except for this little particular value here, this HTML. Okay. So I put the space on the end. So let's macroize this as well, should we? Nah, don't need it. And these guys will end up actually being booleans, won't they? So yeah. So in this line, I'll just change this to be the, well, fucking hell. The annotator is actually going to be a link, isn't it? So yeah, this dude doesn't actually get set to that. Yeah. Yeah, we actually want to be making this point to somebody. So let's just leave them for now, because those guys need to be handled differently. Okay. So the default medium. I mean, this is also, yeah, so this is going to be a pointer to its own medium, wasn't it? So it's like we wanted to actually parse out the medium first. Where is the medium? Didn't we add medium to the identity to that type spec? There's ident medium. There's default medium. There's a oh, it's a scope. That's why. Okay, false alarm. So yeah, this is another interesting one. The default medium. And I mean, numbering scheme. We should have an E number these guys actually. So let's do that. Shouldn't we? Yeah, I think we do need to enforce that. And the parser will actually have to know about these different numbering schemes as well. And I think Cinera's got them in already. Yeah, we're right here. I think I'd like to rename that to that. And since that wasn't type def, I think I could just do that, no problem, and nobody else uses that actual thing. So yeah, in the project, we're just going to store calendrical linear seasonal. So that means that in that project struct, it's kind of hilarious that the first lot of things are just like different, completely different things. So where's that struct? Oh, it's probably upwards, isn't it? So numbering scheme. Oh, it's not even here. And it's not going to be there because we just didn't configure one. So that's good that we actually spotted that. Not sure how big that's going to be actually. Let's put it here because I don't know. Unknown type numbering scheme, is that just because it's too far down? Yeah. We could put it right the way up here. Oakley dokley. Perfect. So we're not checking any of them yet. So Who's going to be responsible for doing that? Should it be the parser? I think it should be the parser. It should say if this thing is such and such a thing, maybe. It's tough to say, not sure. Doesn't matter for now. I don't have this, do I? Or do I? No, it's just a string differ. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, if we're only going to be, at this point, checking that, how do we actually fail? Because it's not like you can just sort of say, if it's not one of these things, then don't set it and just continue it as you were. Because you need to know what they want it to be. Let's keep going. Let's at least get something going, and leave this as something to actually consider. Right, because this is gonna fucking return, don't you? I mean, really, I should just add to the numbering schemes, and it's unknown or something. But basically, my thing here is, if you do that, then you end up in this situation where you have to check it in here. So another to do going in. So numbering scheme is get play template. Do we even have a title list delimiter? I don't think we do we? Oh, we don't even have a title, do we? Yeah, hang on a minute. Why isn't this failing? Oh, they're not failing because I hadn't done them. Alright, yeah, I thought I hadn't put the title in for some reason. How did I miss that? Let's just say for these dudes, let's just leave these for now. Unit. Did I add a unit? I wonder why I missed out so many things. Because I was going through one of the things, wasn't I? You know, I was looking through one of these to see what was set. Maybe I was looking at something that was just a top level thing and it didn't have stuff like this filled in, maybe. Ignore privacy. If true. I mean, this is another case where we need to actually have made sure that the person has put true or false. Right. Yeah, set log level from string. Well, it's get, isn't it? Get numbering scheme from string, get log level from string. Get bool from string. So those guys can actually. Oh no, we need to know where we're setting it, don't we? Well, actually, yes, we do. Of course, we do. We need to be able to say. We need to be able to actually put in the right thing. Like, how permissive do you want to be with this? I mean, you could conceivably just say all sorts, couldn't you? Right, so you could have that. Let's be permissive. Let's be nice about it. Sound reasonable? So what doesn't that like? It doesn't like me that I'm missing the item null. Well, we've got a default case though. So if we just got too many brackets, I think we have, haven't we? So yeah, it's a bit sketchy, but where's that guy? When do we validate the numbering scheme? It's the same idea here. That was a bool, wasn't it? Yeah. And then they get log level from string. Same idea. And we do have these, don't we? Yeah. Yeah, I'll be changing these. Well, yeah, don't put that there. Let's be less permissive about these. That should be alright. It's conceivable actually that we should make these, get log levels from string and get the boolean, actually print out the valid things, isn't it? You know, like wherever I'm going to be actually doing the test, you know, wherever you do the test, it's got to actually tell the user whether they've actually set it correctly and what's available to them. So let's do that. Actually, a bit cheesy, but yeah, you could do that, couldn't you? Why does it not like that exactly? Yeah, I can't just have it asserting if we're going this thingamajig. So unfortunately you can't assert in, like, globally, as far as I'm aware. I guess you want to do it in an initialization function. It's kind of sweet actually. So both dudes inherited this log level and reported them out. And the Boolean stuff. think that just wasn't reporting, was it? So get bool. Let's just do these numbering scheme first. Did I save that? It doesn't like, or rather it's not reporting that incorrectness. Numbering scheme in here. I suppose we're not actually getting down there that far, are we? It's caused by a read. Oh. Resolve variable. That's interesting, because this should have actually died, shouldn't it? This is not syntactically correct. I wonder why that didn't fail. Let's do this right out here. Right, under numbering scheme, valid numbering schemes. Clinical, linear, seasonal. So that was failing in here. So this is in departing comment, so it should be deparsing. Actually, hold on. Let me just do the boolean. And then it's just those guys. So we are getting down to resolve variables, but they should have failed earlier with a syntax error. I think the problem is that this is calling itself, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. So it's doing it in a loop. So we've got, I think it's departing assignments at least. Oh, it's depart include assignments. So this needs to do that. Sorry, it's not include at all. This is in support equals Patreon. Got all the icons, got a URL. Got this which is bogus. We've got this which is bogus. So having seen a bogus thing, it's something that's not in field. So let's do scope tokens. If it's not in field, then we should depart assignment, yeah. So if we don't depart, we should get a syntax error, which we should have been seeing, really. So we do. The address is caused by read memory access in resolve variables. Aha, so we freed the scope tree. So we've got the syntax error, freed the scope tree. I think we're just not checking if we have a tree. Is that the only problem? Yeah, that is probably the only problem. Okay. So, I've got some invalid stuff. What was that? Yeah, okay, so we're not dying anymore for that. And we won't get down far enough to even see these, because we're not going down into projects within projects yet. So no numbers using Cinera, linear, seasonal. Yeah, cool. It's interesting though that we continue. Like I say, we haven't figured out how to actually escape from. We haven't figured out when to set those things, you know. Yeah, clinical, linear, seasonal, numbering schemes. We haven't figured out where to set them. It's probably during the parse, isn't it, really? But that's what we need to sort out. So we're just doing everything right here? I think we're doing everything. These guys we're not sure about yet. Worried about the numbering scheme. Yeah, same deal as these. Suppose we could just stick that down there, couldn't we? So I suppose let's just go through and print the dudes out. we have print pair? And does it print what we want? So it needs to config pair. And a config pair takes a key and a value. So yeah, I mean, in some ways it's kind of crazy, but this would give us what we actually want. Except for the fact that we need to pass it like that as a config pair rather than as separate things. So what I'm essentially saying is doing this config pair hold on, config pair key. Is this what I'm saying? Just wondering what's going to happen if something isn't set. And also, what have we actually got here? They could have just made this a bit easier to do. Yeah, I'm not sure that we can really, because it's just all our responsibility, isn't it? This is basically what print project has to do. So let us go to, well, it's just that guy over there, isn't it? This person. Let's do that, and let's so this points to the medium. We need to just comment that out. Because that would have been overriding the HTML there. Wouldn't it? I mean, it would have been making a mess or something. Yeah. I think let's get these strings printed out. Print out the things. Just print out the stuff that we're setting, and then I'm just going to go and eat. Because I'm pretty knackered actually. Yawning my face off at the moment. So let's just go down these. It's got ident play templates. Player location, query string. Templates. I think they're all strings, aren't they? Yeah, they will do make string. So yeah, I'll tell you what. Oops. Oof, one single typo. So let's see how badly this crashes. Doesn't crash. Then finally, so we've done the HTML. Might be nice to print them out in a different order, by the way, but that's something that we can do later. And then for the numbering scheme, we're not printing a pair, are we? We're really just saying print the I guess it'd be nice to format similar to that, to this guy. Yeah, there might be some sweetness I could actually do potentially with this, you know, making a general function that kind of just that indexes into different enums, maybe. So this is going to be this. Tell you what, let's just copy the print pair function. print C. So it wants to do yellow bold, config identifier strings, P key. So let's do the config identifier strings on the ident numbering scheme. Equals, and then let's print thingamajig. And this is going to be from the it's the P's numbering scheme. I guess would print numbering scheme be nice? Oh, and indentation. So, print address strings, and this is going to just be the numbering scheme. Okay. Then we have print boolean. I guess we could pass it a title, couldn't we? Right. So let's try and do this a bit differently. I mean, it sort of gets a bit cheesy because you end up kind of passing a pointer to the numbering scheme strings just to be able to use that. I'm not sure there's much value in doing that. It was just the title thing just kind of prompted me to think, well, you know, if you can set the title for the print boolean, couldn't you just set the title for this guy? And then that automatically prints out well, I guess we don't have, well, yeah, we kind of do actually, don't we? We do have that title somewhere. It'll be in one of the idents thingamajigs. Ident title. This doesn't like the oh, missed the indentation level. And we need to print boolean for the single browser tab as well. And the log level. I mean, sure. I have been copying those guys quite a lot. Just sort of seems like, you know, is there any way that could be generalized? I mean, it could be fun actually if the log level was like a rainbow colour and it like went from green to red depending on how severe you want the log level to be. And let me just actually have a quick gander. If I just set one to true, which green do we get? Get that green. Might use the other colour. Yeah, go with that. And that's kind of nice. This thing got the tile set or the unit, and it didn't crash on us. Field already set, name. Somebody's setting the name multiple times, are they? Don't remember seeing that before. It's a medium in application. So we kind of very quickly threw in that idea of the medium being includable in a project. I think we need to say the mediums, there can be multiple of them. Oh, okay. So this is a singleton. This ain't. So field already set. If field is set locally, that's the only place this gets. Well, happens here too. Scope tokens and parse single string assignment both say it. parse single string assignment actually get called? No. So it seems that there's different behaviour here between stuff that's been absorbed and stuff that's been included, but I'm not sure why. Yeah, so that means one of the field already set complaints. Ah. Well, hang on, no, because this should just be, this should be absorbing, right? And then it should be fine to just sort of say that this is a new scope. We can set this however we want, right? Yeah, I sort of feel like this field is set locally, ain't being set correctly, sadly. I'm very tired now, so let's just do a to-do and do this tomorrow. Yeah, that'll do. But yeah, that's kind of sweet. We've got this actually getting stuffed into a an actual structure. Obviously, we're not resolving, so I guess the title of this variable resolution ain't strictly true. But we'll have to give that a different name. Don't really know what, but this ain't what we're doing. We haven't been resolving variables. We're just being whatever. Don't know. Too tired to think about what we've been doing. So yeah, that's all for now. Probably doing about 3-4 hours. 4 hours, yeah, Jesus. So yeah, that's all for now. Thank you very much, Heroes and Heroines, for being here, for being square, for being fantastic and beautiful and heroic. Until tomorrow, I will wish you the best of luck in your own programming and other endeavours. Farewell for now.